Hello, Vivid Earth Tribe. How are you all doing today? I wanted to give you a quick update on health ascension process from 3 to 4 and 5D, and approaching New Earth and what you can do to make your journey more meaningful and impactful. So, there's been a lot of talk about us approaching a new Earth, us ascending from 3D into 4D and eventually into 5D. And I just wanted to clarify a few things around it. Some people still find it very hard to believe or fathom this phenomenon, and asking for scientific proof. And not everything, unfortunately, can be proven with the science that we have today. However, there are some major shifts happening in science today. You may have heard of quantum physics, a form of science that have proven a lot of things that have never been able to be explained and made it possible to start accepting, things like the double slit experiment, etc., etc. So it really, the observer has a major impact on the outcome of the experiment, which is unfounded, was unfounded up to that point. So I just want to quickly touch on that. Sometimes some of us just know, there's an inner knowing. We don't need scientific proof. It's something that you internally feel with your gut, with your heart, instinctively. And it's difficult for other people to understand that because they don't see it, they don't feel it, and they don't see the proof around them. It's very difficult to explain something in the 4th or 5th density from the 3rd density. So what they don't understand is that we're all vibrational beings. All of our carbon-based bodies are vibrating at a certain speed. The atoms are vibrating in a specific speed, and this basically manifests the physical body, the carbon-based body. Currently, most of us are in the 3rd density. There are people that are already in the 4th density, or they kind of, they go in and out. But there's been a lot of talk about Earth that will be ascending into a 5th density. How fast it's going to happen, we have no idea. There's been talk about a solar flash that will make this process instant, where our DNA will instantly be upgraded so that we can ascend into a 5th density reality instantly. I'm not sure that that is the case. Obviously I can't say. I can only discern and decide for myself personally what I feel resonates with me. Personally, I think it's going to be a gradual process, which may be sped up by a solar flash, but I don't think we're gonna be able to take the shortcut to the new Earth. We're still gonna have to do the work. I don't believe that just being 51% service to others is enough. There will be a lot of work that we'll need to do, but I do believe we are in a time where quantum leaps are possible. For the first time in humanity, there's we're moving into a timeline shift where quantum leaps are taking place, and this will definitely allow us to ascend and evolve much faster than we have for the last hundreds or thousands of years even. So just a little bit about what it takes to ascend into 5th dimension or into the new Earth. So as I said, our body is a carbon-based body. Now, to be able to operate into a 5th density, we basically have to have a crystalline body. So there's a lot of changes that need to happen in the body. Our frequency and our vibration has to be much higher, because when it's much higher, basically we can essentially turn carbon into crystalline. I can't explain the whole process to you, and I don't know how long this is going to take, but I do want to just share some practical tips with you on how you can get yourself ready for that process, because I think those who are not going to make the effort are going to make a big mistake. And personally, I'm working very hard and getting myself ready physically, mentally, spiritually for this process, and I just have this innate calling to do so. So I can't explain it logically, but all I know is that my higher self is wanting me to do this, and I'm following the lead, and I'm doing the work, because this is a once in 25,950 year cycle. So not making that effort, what is the alternative? What is the price that we can potentially pay if we do not make that effort right now? So I'm going to take the leap, and I have taken the leap, and I'm making the effort, and I hope that you will too. And there are some very basic things that you can start doing to, if you get your body into a much healthier state, and it will essentially become lighter, and it will be easier for you to ascend into a fourth or fifth density being, and it will be easier for you to make that shift from carbon-based to crystalline. If there is a major solar flash that is coming, certainly you'll be in a better position to be taking advantage of that. Yeah, so basically, if you follow the quantum physics perspective, and you will know that we're all made up out of atomic particles, and all of this is a perception. All of this reality around us is ultimately a perception, a holographic perception. I know it's very difficult to fathom, but we are just in a very dense reality right now. Once we move out of that, it's going to become much easier to visualize that. The fourth density is, or the fifth density is not where it ends. There's a sixth density, seventh, eighth, all the way to 12, and some people believe even beyond that. So there are other planets that operate into much higher densities. I do believe we are in a unique position as human beings on this earth plane to do an embodied ascension, whereas we don't have to die to be able to go to a higher density. I do believe with what's going on in the earth right now, us moving into the Aquarian age or the golden age, a lot of light from the photon belt already coming through to us, the sun being much brighter, a solar flash expected, we are able to do an embodied ascension. And ascension is not some woo-woo word, it's a very real reality for all of us, for our physical form, our spiritual form, and our whole being. So it's basically we have to create a light body to be able to operate in the fifth density. And you can really help your body get ready for that transition by doing a few things. I have touched already on some of those in my Health Hacks for Starseed series, which I will add to. But I want to emphasize that whatever you put in your body, however you treat this vessel that you are in currently, is going to determine your readiness for the next level of existence. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be stuck in this third density matrix that we are in. It's not that I'm unhappy. I just believe there is something much greater waiting for us if we can make this shift. And the stage of control and limitation and sort of negativity that we see on this planet, I do believe that all of that can be transformed once we enter a new earth reality. And personally, I'm doing whatever I can to speed up this process. So anything that you put in your body, anything that you put onto your body, anything that touches your body vessel can affect that process and will help you with the... Now, I'm not saying that it only lies in the physical aspect. Most definitely spiritually, what you put in your mind is as important, and how you treat your spiritual self is as important. But physically, I think a lot of people forget about that aspect. So whatever you put in your body, make sure it's the purest form of nutrition, that you eat organic food, that you eat whole food, especially fruit and vegetable. Green vegetables are very, very important during this time, because green vegetables create a lot of, contains a lot of photonic light. So that will also help your body get lighter. My advice would be to try and give up meat. honestly, I did it, and I would have never said it would have been possible for me, because I've been a meat lover all my life. However, consciously it didn't resonate with me anymore, so I had a huge conflict of interest, or I was very conflicted about it, and eventually I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it up. And it's been pretty easy. I must tell you, it's been very, very easy, and I'm loving it. And I'm loving discovering all the protein-rich seeds and beans that are out there that can replace the protein found in meat. And it's been pretty much a breeze for me. I must tell you, once you've mentally made up your mind, there's no I'm not even tempted. I'm repelled by meat, to be quite honest. But you've got to be ready for that. You know, it's a whole process, mentally, physically, spiritually. You've got to work towards a stage where you're ready for it. And if you're not, don't beat yourself up. Just work towards mentally, let it simmer, you know, meditate on it. Eventually, one day you will wake up and say, okay, I'm ready. So, yeah, that's what I have to say about avoiding meat. The same goes for sugar and alcohol. It just lowers your vibration, that's all. So I wouldn't recommend any of those two. If you have to consume a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of sugar, keep it to once a week, so that your body can recover quickly and that you get out of that state of call it low vibration. And make sure you get enough movement as well, meditation, movement. So treat your body well, you know, drink the highest quality water that you can, and lots of it. I have a little ozonator, so I ozonate all my drinking water. If you can have a purifier or something that you can purify your water, I think tap water is absolutely poison these days. We have a borehole, so we get all the water out of the earth. The other day we had a problem with our borehole, and we had to put on municipal water, and I could just smell that water coming out of the tap. It was horrible. It was like I could smell the algae and the toxins. I cannot describe it. But even as I took a shower, I was like, this is gross. Yeah, I think my sense of smell has just become super attuned as well. So, but it shows you, once you're used to something in a more pure form, just going back, even if it's briefly, can have a big impact. So, and then, you know, shampoo, body washes, creams, make sure it's organic. Make sure there's no sulfate in there. Make sure there's no nasties in there, because that's also going to be absorbed by your body and make your body dense. So you want your body as light as possible, and it doesn't necessarily mean in weight. Of course, that helps as well, but it's really about your cells being super energized and ready for that next step in your evolution. And of course, anything that you put in your mind as well. Stop watching TV, honestly, even Netflix, unless you can find some really high frequency documentaries, which are rare and few and far between. You know, maybe watch something like ITV or Unified TV, or one of those alternative networks that can actually add value to your life, because you know, I would certainly not, cable TV is the worst. Don't even think about, you know, CNN and all the mainstream news channels. It's pure poison. It's pure mind control. Cut it out. And speaking about TV, your mind really is about a TV. It's like a TV channel, and you can change that channel, and it's what you put into that. You know, it's things that you hear every day over the news. Eventually, it becomes your reality. The same thing goes if you put good stuff into your mind on a daily basis. Eventually, that becomes your reality. It's like affirmations. If you just view positive things and you watch inspiring people, and I'm not talking just about it kind of love and light new age stuff. I'm really talking about just really meaningful things that add to your existence and your understanding and allows you to grow. Those things are going to really help you, get you to the next level, and they're going to reprogram your brain. Before you know it, you're not going to miss TV, and you're going to have a very different point of view and a different view on life and a different way of thinking. You know, traditional TV just puts fear in our mind. I mean, I realized this a couple of months ago when I was sort of browsing through Netflix, and everything was so dark. I mean, literally all they are designed to do is to lower your vibration. It's like to put you in a negative state of mind. So that's when I said, you know what, bye Netflix. I just, I'm not going to put this shit in my body or in my mind anymore. It's poison. So make sure everything that you do is of a high vibrational nature, whether it's a conversation with a friend, whether it's the food that you eat, whether it's the music that you're listening to. Everything must be on a high vibrational level, and you'll start be able to judge what is and what isn't. So you'll be able to start tuning in what's good for you and what's not. But it's a skill that we all have to develop. We're all starting from scratch here as we move out of this 3D matrix and reality. But you know what we all need to know is that we're very powerful galactic beings. We have been identified as a kind of a super race, a super hybrid race that have been able to operate in a 3D reality, but also have potential for higher consciousness. And there's very few races in the universe that's able to do that. So they're really looking at us as a kind of a super race and the greatest experiment of the universe. So we must embrace that power and believe that we are powerful and stop being the victim. Take your power back. You know, make your own decisions. Inform yourself. Use your discernment. Stop listening to other people. Not saying don't watch anything on YouTube anymore, but you can certainly help that to help grow your knowledge base. But then, you know, really listen with discernment and decide for you what resonates with you and what makes sense for you. That's where the key lies. So don't just take any information in and believe it as the truth, because then you're just becoming the victim of someone else again. Take your power back. You are much more powerful than you ever realized possible. Now's the time to realize that and to embrace that. And once you have that self-confidence, not ego, self-confidence, you can do amazing things. You can change your entire life. Which brings me to another point. The one big thing that we cannot take into the fourth and fifth density is that egoic way of thinking. So watch your ego, start watching your words, start watching the way that you react to things, and try and manage your ego as much as possible. Whenever you react to something, ask yourself, am I coming from an egoic place? Am I defending myself here because I'm protecting my ego? Or am I truly doing this for the benefit of myself and others? That's really the filter that you have to use, and one could go into that much further. But that is actually a big thing, the ego. We all have it, and we all have to tone it down and manage it. And when we move into this new state of this new density, it's a whole new state of being. You have to operate from a complete sense of peace, harmony, balance, love, compassion, kindness. It's actually that love vibration. And you know, a lot of people, unfortunately, we've been told that love is something very corny. Love is something you feel for a man or a woman, or for a child or a parent. And it's much more than that. It's actually the wrong word at this stage. We should not be using that word, actually, because it's been so misconstrued for such a long time. But it really, what it means for me is just a total sense of peace, total sense of acceptance of others, of yourself, of how things are, compassion and kindness. Because when you vibrate this frequency of love, you will attract the same to you. And people will treat you with respect, with compassion and kindness. If they're not, just ask yourself, what did I say or do that may have been not in the highest vibration? And you'll have your answers. So that's just a quick update from me today to talk about ascension into fourth and fifth density. Let's get ready for this, folks, because it's coming, as I said, whether we're ready for it or not. And I'd love all of you to be getting ready with me so that we can make this quantum leap forward. this once in a absolute lifetime opportunity to move into a different density and to be part of this incredible new golden age. So yeah, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below, and if you have any other things that you'd like me to discuss, pop them in there as well. I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, sending you lots of love and light.